Here we go, second round coverage, 2025 New Zealand Disc Golf Open presented by RPM Discs. This is the third tournament in the Tour Down Under. My name's Luke Humphries. Joining me in the booth for this, Mr. Tall Paul Oman. This place is an orchard, as we mentioned yesterday, but what a beautiful spot it is usually, but not now.
Yeah, that drone footage, those B-rolls, that's not what the weather was looking like today.
We got rain, we got wind. It's going to be a much different round with quite a few more umbrellas.
Yeah, the wind was a little more manageable, but the rain was nonstop. My fellow here, Luke Humphries, on the lead card, shooting a hot neg 9 to open up the tournament.
Yeah, it was a good round. You know, I got fortunate a couple times, but I made a bunch of good putts and committed lines.
Yeah.
Playing with this guy yesterday as well. He showed me a bunch of those good lines. It was windier yesterday, still windy today, but wind was the factor yesterday. Today, it's more of a combination of rain and wind. This guy's pretty used to playing in those conditions. Levi Stout from Invercargill all the way down south, one of the more turbulent places to live in New Zealand.
Yeah, used to playing on lead cards in New Zealand as well.
That he is. Braden Sides, second place at the last tour event down here. Taupo looking to continue that momentum, maybe grab himself a dub.
Yeah, he's playing some great golf.
Crushes the Frisbee.
Yeah, effortlessly.
There's a bunch of killers in the waiting as well. Jeremy Colling, Aaron Gossage, Ezra Robinson, right there on chase card. Aiden Scott as well. I mean, he took down Taupo, so he's still got some momentum. And that 9-stroke lead's anything but safe. I know it. But we're just trying to make birdies out there, and you know, Kevin Jones in the waiting gear there as well. So
yeah,
pretty fun to have all these guys out here in New Zealand. We've talked about it a little bit, but this Tour Down Under, incredible experience and opportunity to get some reps as you head into the tour season.
Well said.
Hole 1, it says 722. It's 500 to get in bounds in a straight line with the basket, 550 to park the hole. So you might see some guys go for it, but it is a bomb out there, and the headwind right to left is really tricky.
Leaving the car, leaving the tournament on a 9 under.
Everybody's
We have a player who, of course, is known to everybody as the world's greatest, or one of the world's greatest disc golfers. Also, the front man of Go Throw 2B, been covering our Tour Down Under, which is great to see. He's played over 200 PGA sanctioned events, and he brings that experience and that battle to the Tour Down Under. Please welcome from Wichita, Kansas, the man, Luke Humphries.
Yeah, that's Bob Gentle. Apparently 50 years. I was corrected in the coverage by one of my good friends, Chris from Vortica Disc Golf down here. And man, 50 years he's been playing disc golf. Bob Gentle, legend, teeing us off.
he carries some weight. You can feel it. He's a homie around here. Look at this rain. Well-placed shot, right in the middle.
We know we can play at the wing 65 here, concert here a couple of weeks ago. Fourth in Taupo last weekend. Sitting 4 under the card, please welcome to the tee, Robert Burridge from Houston, Texas.
Robert playing some solid golf all throughout his trip here in New Zealand.
Yeah, he's throwing some new discs, and he's loving. He's going to be smashing on felons and enforcers. And he won the first event down here, so he's definitely one to watch.
He's got a well-rounded
Next
game.
on the tee, it's a great
It's a good way to
story,
say it.
really. Yeah, it's Saturday Disc Sports back in 2017. Just 3 years later in 2015, he decided he was going to be a pro player. Now at just 19, he's currently New Zealand's highest ranked disc golfer. 1,019. Please welcome from the south of the country, Invercargill, Mr. Levi Stout.
That's New Zealand's finest right there.
Yeah. Just a stand-up disc golfer. No stranger to these conditions.
He's got all the tools as well. This one flattens out, unfortunately. I think he just threw it a little low.
Yeah.
And it was able to flip him.
That right side OB comes up out of nowhere. You got to give that disc some height.
Taking second last weekend double is planning on changing that this weekend from North Augusta, South Carolina, Brendan Sides.
Got him with the Brendan.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
Braden, That might go at it. He's got so much sneaky power. Dead, he goes with layup.
I love his choice of just no jacket.
Yeah.
I mean, just rolling with the conditions. Oh, okay.
I think he just didn't throw a stable enough disc, honestly. It looked great, and then it just pushed straight on hyzer.
Yeah, you do have quite a bit of room, like to the left of those stakes.
Smooth mid-range to about 40 short.
Okay, well, he crosses into the inbounds region there. That's what you're looking to do here.
One needs to get down.
Looked nice. Caught the front side of the hill.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Set inside the circle. One bit early released from me. I ended up like 55. Yesterday, I checked up on the hill, but then rolled down the backside OB about 60 feet from the basket. I was just a little gun shy because of that.
A par on this hole is not the worst thing to start your round. And Robert flashing the basket.
Nearly deucing it. We had to bust out the string on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stayed in bounds, though.
Very
couple inches. This is not a putt you can run.
Right. I think, you're not super stoked that, you may be just tapping in, but like it makes the decision easier at that distance.
Yep.
Start with the par, recalibrate.
Yeah. Forced to take the bogey yesterday after the rollaway, so layup par was still a stroke better.
Yeah.
A lot of right side chains there.
Yeah. Confident stroke. Hey.
Yeah. To grab 2 on Levi and Braden.
Right on the pole.
Yeah, he's birdied it 2 days in a row as well.
I know you've been talking about, you think the back side of this course is a little easier or more scoreable, but I feel like you can get hot fast here. 1, 2, you put 1 inbounds and get a makeable putt, a runnable putt, and then 2 is pretty standard.
Mm-hmm.
3, there's some trouble, but it's a stock shot.
3 stock for sure.
Get 1 of 4 and 5, you're rolling.
Yeah, you definitely start hot out here.
Yeah. So hole 2, like I said, par 4, 525. You're just looking to really keep it in the middle, work your way up that hill as much as you want, but you don't have to get too flashy. And then a lot of guys just throwing a forehand, depending on the wind, a backhand over the top of the orchard trees and just trying to plop it in the circle there.
For sure. Robert's thrown way up into that brown area. He's got so much arm speed.
Yeah.
It's smooth, and you can't really tell exactly where it's coming from, but his discs just stay in the air.
Where it's coming from good form,
Yeah, good
Athletic.
form. Good form
form.
hides the effort.
Yeah, exactly. Big bet that it's so smooth and he just crush. Looks like he's not doing anything.
Yeah, I caught a bit of a wind gust. Probably should have put some more hyzer on that. It's only 525, so I'm not really trying to get that much and worried about where I come in.
Right. You don't want to fade too far right, just making your second shot further than it needs to be, but
they should all be stock shots on that field.
Exactly.
Braden taking no time. We just barely got the zoom back in. Out to get zoomed back in. And all 3 of those guys landing pretty close to each other.
Yeah.
I'm a little further out in the field, going reblend D2.
At this point, you guys have all been in the rain for a solid 20 minutes. You're settled in, everything's saturated.
Kind of hard to tell, but it definitely got pulled left by some wind that I wasn't really aware of. Circle 2, but I'm obstructed by some plum trees.
Yeah, it's pretty specific there. Like, you've got a circle to land in, and then once you get outside of, 1 row of trees, I don't know. Can't be asking for too much.
It's a tail left to right, and if you get your disc too flat, it'll just kind of push straight without hyzering at the ends, and that's what I did. That was perfect.
Yeah, Braden dialing it up, keeping it on a pretty stiff hyzer angle for the forehand.
It's these putter shots that Levi's known for, taking that Takapoo out, putting it close.
Yeah.
And he did make $8,600 on one Takapoo throw.
He's clearly comfortable throwing that thing
Yep.
at a lot of distances, honestly.
So I got, about 50. Got to go over this plum tree right here.
What?
Drained it.
Drained it?
Yep. Over the top.
I love this angle. Come on. What a gorgeous putt.
Does it just come in the side door? I couldn't even see.
No. Bounces off the backside of the rim.
Just enough.
Wow. Good commit, dude.
Yeah, just anywhere close. I had a feeling if I missed it but hit metal, it could roll. Just one of the things that happens really.
And again, like one of these holes, you're going to want a birdie. Both of them, bonus, but I feel like, of course, once these guys dialing it in, like these first few holes,
There's a lot of bird shots. You're right. Some people have a tendency to start slow. It's not something you can do here. You're losing strokes to people if you do it.
gotta stay away from that bogey on hole 1.
We had a ripping left to right wind yesterday, which was just pushing all of the discs straight. Some people finding out of bounds. It was making it hard to hyzer back in. Similar today. Not as hard, but you're going to have to prepare yourself to get a little more straight movement than typical. So I chose to go more hyzer, and I threw it a little bit softer than yesterday.
Throw it at the basket. You can't let it, it's not going to swing back to the left.
Oh, kind of got over there by the OB a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't think I could miss inside. That was kind of what I was trying to do. That's exactly what I was talking about.
Such a wrong fruit.
Causes a very stable disc to not hyzer out. Something about the valley as well. Feels like the discs don't do exactly what they're supposed to. He said so bad. I think it would have been okay. It's now in a very great position.
It was fortunate. It wasn't going to be like out of bounds or anything. But
Wasn't going to land that close. Rob doing a similar thing. That's a very stable disc that usually would just hyzer to that out of bounds quickly, but plays it pretty properly.
yeah, it looked like he maybe even snuck through that tree. So just some fortune.
Levi's got one of the best little spin wrist movements. We talk about it all the time. Feels like he could give it a bid from 50, 60 feet from a knee.
Look at you. Is that I got away with one?
No, that's like it's raining outside. That one's going to get to the bucket.
Oh, 2 heartbreakers for Robert in the first 3 holes.
Indeed. Little left side there on hole 2, and then just a bit short. He was reaching down for his mini. Told me later he thought he threw a good putt.
Yeah.
It looked great.
Keep the flow going for Braden.
Yeah. He's got 2 in a row now.
Robert's got to settle in, man. He can't get frustrated on hole 3. It's going to be a long day.
Yeah. Could turn into one.
Yeah.
Who knows what the weather's going to do, though. You know,
At this point, I feel like it looks like it's settled in and it's going to stick around.
it kind of felt like it. There were times when we put the umbrellas away and times when we had to bust them right back out immediately.
Yeah.
Kind of just wanted to, but never did. Triple Mando here on hole 4, 233. Wind is going to be right in head. And it just plays a little finicky, flips up the forehand, and the backhand feels like it just jumps around.
Yeah, they really do. Got to throw the right stability, I feel like, with the backhand.
I'm going A3. Thought it was going to be all right.
Got dumped.
Drilled. Once it got flat, it dropped. I needed to keep it on a little more hyzer.
I mean, no trouble, no extra work for the par, and you have a long bid at the birdie. There it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
You can see it just hunting that top Mando sign.
And no telling if it doesn't hit that tree, like where that ends up, if he has a putt or what. But great line. I'm thinking like a little less stable of a disc for the backhand. So it's not fighting and trying to work its way back to hyzer and lifting.
Yeah.
It continues to, not something that's just going to roll over, but something that's going to hold that turnover.
That was a good fairway choice there from Levi. That was a Pekka Pekka from RPM.
Ooh,
One of their favorites.
just an effortless forehand.
It's so smooth.
Smacks the wood.
Oh, yeah. He and I both putting from about 50, 60. Braden's, he's just outside the circle still.
Yeah.
So he's got a good look at birdie.
You don't hate this. This is for birdie.
I just needed the wind to do what I thought it was going to do. I think the trees stopped that wind in there, so didn't hook up in time. Similar situation for Robert. Both of us played it to blow our discs back in. It didn't happen. There's a lot of wind adjustments being made on these putts because of how much elevation that we're playing, as well as just the consistency or inconsistency from a knee.
Beautiful. I mean, let's talk about the fact that, like, everything is wet at this point.
Lots.
Discs, towels.
Yeah, this guy right here has some pretty good equipment. Clothes. Levi looks like he plays in these conditions.
That's what I'm saying.
He was ready.
I think, what I think? He does it for fun at times. Sees it's raining, just suits up and goes out.
Is this speculation?
Now, Dan, let's meet our women's finalists.
How hard did she throw that?
I mean,
The women's division is getting a lot tougher.
She's not holding back. Nope.
good round, ladies.
OTB is very specific on how they list the disc because they want you to like the disc.
Virtually in your hand tells you what the disc is going to feel like, how heavy it's going to be. It's everything you want to know before it shows up to your house.
Not just marketing.
It's only the best.
Brought back by popular demand, Z-Lite plastic from Discraft. Disc that you already know and love, now available in lighter weights. This plastic is perfect for players with lower arm speeds as well as beginners. They can also be a great complement to the regular weight version of a disc that's already in your bag. Z-Lite, more distance with less effort.
There we go. Special thanks to our sponsors. As we head into hole 5, straight through the orchard, 246, little uphill with the low ceiling, Paul. It's tricky.
I think there was a little extra weight on some of these leaves too, making that ceiling a little lower today with that rain.
Sounds right. I said yesterday I didn't think you could get past the basket. 2 people redirected off trees and got past the basket.
Yeah.
Still very difficult to do. I'm sticking with that sentiment.
I disced down today and got the birdie.
With a putter?
No,
Mid.
I threw the thunder yesterday and I went with the eagle today, and
That's disc down?
yeah,
Feels very similar to me. Off a little right for Levi.
again, that was a similar miss.
I'm going D3 forehand. Thinking if it can get back to hyzer, it might skip a little bit.
Yeah,
I got maybe 20 feet of slide.
I loved how you just emphasized like throwing it downward. You probably picked a spot like 60 feet in front of the basket.
Definitely. And wanted to play for a skip.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Rob's doing.
Oh,
Yo, so parked.
to pass the basket. That's the third one you've seen so far.
Yeah, that's the best one I've seen so far. It did touch a few different trees there on the left side with great play. And that's just... He's a wizard with that disc. So, yeah, I think from anywhere, he just assumes he's getting up and down. A little frustration for Levi taking the bogey if he doesn't drain this. Pretty good bit. And this may be one of the more rainy sections of the round. It's coming down about this time.
But, brother.
Yeah, hitting some putts. Anything inside the circle, I feel very confident on this week. And
Yeah, it was a good drive.
Not as good as Rob, though. Still CTP.
Still waiting.
Still waiting.
Some good birds.
Yep. Nice way to break that little par streak he was on.
Yeah.
Headed into 6. Great flex backhand shot. You really just want to push this thing straight down that right lane and then have it die off left at the end of these pear trees, which it kind of sets up perfect for. There's also that straight line at it.
Yeah, at 361, I mean, I feel like a couple fellows can disc down probably.
Do you feel like it plays 361?
Kev threw a rock today at
Really?
it. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I think it's definitely a bit uphill, and with the height of the shot that you have to throw right here, come on, baby, stay at it.
Just caught the last one.
Yeah.
As it was headed back.
Yeah, you got a wide open bit.
Indeed. And it's super spongy grass.
Yeah.
This grass, like, stops your disc instantly up there.
No, I think it's playing around like the 419 to 421 range.
I like that. Solid work. That's 25 long. Directly, at the target. He played it perfectly. Yesterday he came up a little short, so it makes sense that today he'd be a little long. Early release from Braden. I'd like to think he was trying to play that intended line.
Right.
Gets away with it. Stays in bounds.
Stays in bounds, okay.
And he's actually got a putt as well. About similar distances.
I couldn't remember if it was a straight line there, if it opened up there to the left.
Yeah, Levi finds the same wind that flipped my disc up, and his is about halfway to the hole, unfortunately, so he's got a little work to do here, but patent pending for the second hole in a row.
Good upshot.
Solid work.
Good rotation of the hips, man. It's a good patent pending, I feel like.
A little headwind.
Oh.
Figured I'd just spin one up. Didn't really want to.
In my heart, I felt it. Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Just waiting for the chains.
If the wind picked up, it would have been great. I just didn't want to play it the other way.
Yeah.
Miss it right and have it just continue. Now, Rob to go 2 straight.
So this is a big 25-footer. You said 25, right?
Yeah.
And now what's up?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Could have been 30. Could have been 30.
Light work for my man, Robert.
It was a solid putt. Don't want to take anything away from that.
No, it was fantastic.
Beautifully played hole. Still bogey free on the round. 3 under par. That's solid. You got to think that if this condition continues, scores will be about the same as yesterday. Maybe, what do you think? Is it harder with rain and wind or just like brutal wind?
I think that brutal wind, some of this OB is pretty tight. The wind is there today, but the rain is definitely
More concern.
more concerning for sure.
All right, we got an island green right here, although you can land left. We saw that yesterday.
Yeah.
You just don't be in the creek, essentially. It plays as a river, I suppose. And forehand's a great play. Left to right wind.
Keep it low. The wind is going to rise it up. Just got to settle down. Nope.
Just in time.
Just in time. And it dug. It didn't skip.
Enough rain on the ground, making it a little softer than earlier in the week.
Yeah. You got a little reblend, D2.
Yep.
I like this disc for you, man.
It just never hyzered. It was on the hyzer angle, but it never moved back right.
If you get out of the way, I could see the shot.
That's my bad.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys what happened. I threw over left, pin high, from 70 feet.
Oh,
That was a pear tree in front of me.
you're inbounds.
Yep.
I mean, you don't hate that, but look, he leaves a little angle on his disc here. It's got just like earlier.
That one did not settle. Similar sitch to Rob,
Dang.
but that one finds out of bounds, unfortunately.
Really pushing it out wide.
He got the towards right. Didn't miss it right
Yeah.
like those guys did, but just didn't throw it hard enough. And now
Quite pop it. Maybe there was a grip issue.
really shouldn't be in bounds. Honestly, this I'm fortunate to be over here. Thought I threw a good shot. The wind was different. Had to have gotten a different reaction than those guys.
Yeah.
This is the last thing I can say about it.
You know, just that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yep. This big open area surrounded by a ridge with large trees creates a swirl pattern through here. There is some consistent wind, but you never know exactly what's happening.
Braden thought he did.
Yeah, he did. Confident bid.
Yeah.
Hard to tell how downhill that is on the camera, guys. That falls away pretty considerably, and now he's got about a 20-footer.
He said he was
Just
in
let
the
it come back.
box. Yeah, he didn't want to settle for that par or that bogey just yet. He was trying to run it, keep the score intact. But it's a wet day.
Yep.
It's gonna be tough. You want to keep them tight.
Guessing that was a grip thing. He made sure and got his grip right for this putt.
I mean, he's 6 back. Robert's 5. That's not gonna make anything easier for Braden.
No, definitely not. We do have, I'd say the hard stretch of the course coming up as well. Between 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's probably the 5 hardest holes that you're going to...
I'll give you 10, 11, 12.
You don't think 8's hard?
To score on, maybe, but...
Tell me how...
you 8, 10, 11, 12.
I just threw 9 in there because it's got to be part of the stretch. You understand what I'm saying, though. This hole is difficult.
Yeah.
OB right plays along that line right there of shrubs, and then the OB left tucks in. You've got about 40 feet left to right to land this thing in, and you really have no chance at parking it with the backhand.
Yeah.
If you want to throw that forehand, that's how you'd park it.
Yeah, it takes a specific shot and that kind of like, I'll just throw a hyzer up here and I'll have a bid. Like that kind of got crunched when they lined that right side OB. Like it's pretty tight.
Yep.
You can get yourself into some trouble.
Rob perfectly played, sneaks just inside that bush. Going with a really stable reblend D3. Don't have to worry about it. Played it short today. Got the birdie yesterday, but really in the conditions, I thought it could skip a little more up that hill. And I was pretty close to the OB line left yesterday.
Feel that.
Felt like a par might pick up strokes here.
I think you're right. You gotta play some golf in these conditions. Funky stuff can happen. Snowballing just down a hill, making mistake after mistake. So
everybody landing in a very similar spot. Braden's gonna sneak through that tree, which is in bounds.
Yeah.
And get to a little bit shorter than us, but yeah, we're all jump putting. We're standstill putting.
No one's running this. No way.
We saw it yesterday with your putt.
Jump lane.
You're like 12 feet long and you're out of bounds.
How dare you?
I mean, you really were.
Well, what were you doing there then?
Trying to give it a bit.
That's what I was doing.
I thought I'd be a little softer than you. It's going to be a little spinnier. Nose up high, almost Annie out of the hand, just floating down straight. He's got a beautiful putt from distance.
Yeah.
I love watching him.
Yeah, he like dropped it on it. Wasn't much forward after the basket. Some cleanups from the card.
Yep. Pars for the guys. Felt like a really hard hole to get a birdie on today. And indeed it was. There was only one birdie. Ezrupt. Who I think we're going to be able to catch up with here as we look at the back nine scores after this next hole
coming up.
And we'll kind of see what he was up to. Because, Ezra Robinson, he stays up to birdies.
Hole 9, little par 3. It's about, you think it's in the 300 range?
I do.
305? Okay.
That makes sense.
305?
Yeah.
With a very specific landing zone. If you get too close to these trees, you're really kind of stuck with no putt. Get in them, you might have something, but if you get past the basket and a little too far penetrate, you just have 0 putt. So I think a lot of guys, this is a nice like tailwind behind us today. So some of these guys are slowing up these discs, just throwing putters, maybe a mid. Just,
Yeah,
he gets a good settle there.
that was a great settle. Seen this from him. I'm going to go with my stable version, the A5 here.
It's a really good thing you brought the sunglasses today.
I just don't like being out on the course when the sun comes out. My eyes are sensitive to it. I throw them on immediately if it comes out. That one turned over right, which is a terrible place to be. You basically have a rainbow putt, if anything.
Oh, suit.
Yeah, same line, but further, so into the tree line, giving him at least a look.
Okay.
That one was pushed a bit, a little early, but it flipped up nicely, and as you can see, it got to about 20 feet.
Nice.
So he's going to have a look.
I mean, I gotta think he just ran out there. There could have been some water under those fingers.
Trying to decide if I want to give it a bid or just... Yeah, it felt like if I did something crazy, I could roll down that hill into a weird spot, and I just...
That's when stuff happens like that. When you try and do something a little extra.
Wasn't worried about it. Felt like a par would be okay. It's definitely a hole you wanted to get, though.
Oh.
Yeah. It was a floaty bid. He didn't have much, but this hole playing half a stroke under par, basically half the field birdieing it.
Right. That's kind of one of those ones you want to get. Seven's a tricky one.
Yep.
Like you said, eight's just tough to attack.
Yeah, it's one of 4 holes on the course that had no bogeys today.
And you know what you're about to get into there.
Yeah, there's some tough holes coming up.
The beat.
2 monster par 4s and then a par 5, which is eagleable. We saw it yesterday, but definitely we didn't see it yesterday. It happened yesterday.
It happened.
Yeah,
It occurred.
that it did. Beautiful scapes here in New Zealand. A couple of bogey-free rounds. 3 under, 4 under for Rob and I.
He's kind of whittling away.
Yeah, he is.
Second round.
Going about the business at this point.
He's hanging in there.
What a beautiful property. I love seeing these drone shots, man. And another look right there. Big Germ and Ezra Robinson, both 4 under on their round through 7 holes. What's interesting right now is that we're in front of them. What they did the tee times today, we went off, the leaders went off first. So these guys are just starting the round or a few holes back of us. So the action, what does that do, Bo?
You play golf, they play golf, and y'all see each other at the end of the round.
Yep, that's how it goes. 18 holes, sign the scorecard. That's what you get.
That's what you get.
Right on. Thank you guys for being with us for this Front 9 coverage. The 2025 New Zealand Disc Golf Open, presented by RPM and Simon Feasy. Awesome to be with him in this New Zealand spot, dude. It's been unbelievable. For Tall Paul Oman, I'm Luke Humphries, and we got a back 9 coming at you with all kinds of action. So check with us and watch this rainy thing take place from the warmth of your homes. We'll see you there.